Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. Is Joshua Gangsta Time Cole?
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? What's good, everybody listening?
Ooh, yeah. Brian's...
Juneteenth.
Huh?
Happy Juneteenth.
Oh, yeah. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Brian is also... Brian's not here this week, unfortunately. But, yeah, me and Josh are flying solo today. But regardless, we got a lot to talk about. So let's not waste any time. Let's get directly into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram. And at New Jump City Josh on Twitter.
Oh,
I'm private on both. So,
yeah.
Send that request.
You can find Brian at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Also check out when he's streaming. He plays Valorant and some kind of other alternate League of Legends thing. It's not really League of Legends. I saw him playing the other day.
So, LOL.
Yeah, lol, as the kids call it these days. So yeah, check them out on that. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram, and also TikTok. If you want to send us questions that we read on our pre-show chat show. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we've been uploading 2 podcasts a week. One of them is just kind of like a casual chat between the 3 of us usually. So we thought we'd add the questions into the mix. So we've already answered 1 question this week. So if you guys want to send us any other questions, you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com, and we'll likely answer them on the pre-show chat show, and that way we could get to them in a timely fashion and they won't build up. So yeah, do that. Keep sending us questions and stuff. If you don't have to email us, you could also comment under the video version of the podcast. We still don't have a fully functional video yet, but I am still putting up the podcast in audio form on YouTube. So give us a like on that, share, subscribe, all that stuff if you enjoy the show. If you want to take the show on the go in any way, you want to listen to it on an actual podcast platform, you can check us out wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search New Jump City. We're pretty much on every single podcast platform there is. So, you can't miss us. And yeah, I think that's it. Without further ado, I suppose we can get started. Spoiler alerts ahead, by the way.
Tell that pussycat girl me know what.
My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 391, Rejecting the World. Last we left off, Dobby was defeated once and for all, but with the combined efforts of the Todoroki family and Ida as well. Special credit for getting him there in the first place. And now we are cutting over to Toga's side of the battle, and what's been going on with her is that she has been using Twice's quirk at its highest level, using his Sadman's Parade to overwhelm the hero forces by making like 1 billion Twice clones. And it is not going well for the heroes at this point. They are fully being like flooded with a bunch of Twices. The Pussycat heroes, I forget their name, but they're overwhelmed, and one of them, Pixie Bob, I believe this is. Yeah, Pixie Bob just like gets drowned in a sea of Twices. I don't know if she's dead or not, bro. It's not looking good for her. But yeah,
She's down bad.
Yeah, it's not good for anybody. And there's a small panel with the Shiketsu heroes also getting kind of overtaken by Twice. And we get a narration explaining that Toga was making doubles of the version of herself that had transformed into Twice. So her transform quirk had a time limit based on the amount of blood ingested, but the heroes had no basis for guessing how much time that that limit would actually be, um, which uh, it wouldn't help anyway because once the dam burst, the resulting horde could overwhelm the surrounding area very easily. So, in a sense, the time limit that she has doesn't even matter because she could just overwhelm them in an instant, basically. Um, Meanwhile, Uraraka is just trying to escape this horde of Twices chasing after her. And meanwhile, I guess the main body of Toga is thinking to herself, how did it work out for Toga? Did Toya, did he meet his end? And he's like, she's like, have I lost someone again? And that's when Uraraka basically yanks on the tape measure thing that Twice has on his costume, and I think she uses her gravity quirk to kind of like maneuver around the horde using this tape. Um, oh no, actually, no, this isn't Twice's tape. This is Uraraka's actually. She
Yeah.
has like a cool Spider-Man rope shooter type thing that latches on to Twice. Sorry. I actually got confused at that because Twice also has like tape measure in his wrist there.
Mm.
But yeah, as Uraraka is like kind of swinging around and keeping hold of Toga, she says that she hasn't. I know that we haven't shared much since last summer, but I've had a seriously big change of heart. And Toga is just like, it's too late for that. And Uraraka says, I'm sorry for the delay, but you were crying back there because you couldn't do everything Twice could. You can't totally become him. Um, and she remembers what Suyu said a while ago, saying that like Himiko, like Toga's love doesn't extend to Shigaraki and the others, and that's why she can't use their quirks. So she can't use like Shigaraki and Toya and all their quirks because she didn't really love them. Um,
Mm.
like not in the same way that she loves Uraraka, obviously, and Twice. Um, and Uraraka mentions that she says that she's got bloodlust mixed in there, so she's not working from pure love. And Toga goes crazy at this point. Her Twice form starts to wear off, and she just yells at her to shut up, and she doesn't know the first thing about her. And the chapter ends. This chapter was 10 pages long. But hey, I guess we still got to talk about it in some way. Josh, what did you
Yeah.
think about My Hero Academia chapter 391?
Brian really expressed himself last week in regards to how he feels about this little arc with Uraka and Toga. He said very mid, that he doesn't care, et cetera, et cetera. And I told, what I said was that I'm willing to give this a chance. And wasn't I wasn't interested really by anything in this chapter. I'll be honest with you, but I think that we still haven't really gotten to a point yet. I noticed that the comic is taking a break next week. Oh no, it's not.
No, it's not. Not this time.
No. But
So,
yeah, it's
Jujutsu
only
Kaisen is
9
though.
pages though. Well, I think we're about to get another backstory. I think we're gonna get something more for Toga. Because I don't. Let me just talk about the actual chapter. She says you've got bloodlust mixed in there, so you're not working off pure love. I don't. I don't agree with her. I actually I disagree with that statement because she's twice as she's using twice as quirk like almost to the max right now. Look how many of them are out there. She's literally using a special move, Dead Man's Parade. What's she not? I don't know. Like what's she not doing properly?
I think what she's maybe referring to is
Because
not.
you can't do everything twice. Could
I think what she means is that she can't really use she can't make clones, like functioning clones of Shigaraki and the others the same way she can with Twice. So it's not necessarily like that she's using Twice incorrectly, is that she can't also use Shigaraki's quirk and Dabi's quirk and all that stuff while making double, like their doubles don't have the original's quirks, which I don't think was the case for Twice. But maybe it's just she doesn't love them enough so that when she transforms into them, she can't use their powers. I don't know. It is confusing because
you can't do it.
she is using Twice's power to an absurd degree that even Twice didn't really get to use at this point. Like Twice only recently learned how to get his power to this level, and she was pretty much able to figure it out.
I'm trying to figure out what Uraka is trying to get across here. I guess other than you're really just sad, and that's why you're acting this way. You're sad at society, and that's why you're lashing out this way. And I see you, and I understand in a way. Which it's funny because my favorite part about the chapter was at the very end when she tells her to shut the hell up and that she doesn't know the first thing about her, which is, yeah, I really felt that. I don't know. I wonder if that's the direction that this fight is going to take. If it's going to be one of those, no, you don't get it, you don't understand, and that's your problem. And, I'm going to end up dying, in the process of you coming to that understanding. Like, she's going to end up passing away before the point really settles in.
Mm.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I want to see Uraka fight. I want to see her do cool things.
Yeah. I don't know.
What about you, Chris? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I do. I'm really like trying to think because I think what's getting under Toga's skin is that she really wants to inhabit the very beings of the people she loves, and I think what I'm supposed to be getting at here is because she can't use the people's that she can transform into their abilities to the fullest, it means that she can't fully become them, which means that she can't really love them. Like it means that deep down she doesn't really care that much as she thinks, and I think that's fucking with her a little bit. I think it's
Mm.
like her feeling of like, I know I love these people, conflicting with this weird physical evidence of her quirk being tied to people she really loves, and the ability to use their powers based on how much she loves them as a metric. It's very weird and not all that clear. I'm kind of with you and also with Brian, where I'm like, Toga's whole thing is generally kind of not very interesting, and I don't know if it's because I don't get it or because
I'll
like,
go ahead and say that it's because I don't truly get it, and that's what I'm trying to be patient about. But go ahead.
yeah, and also I think that's true too, is that this is only kind of the beginning of this fight, and I feel like Horikoshi is currently being held back by health issues from what I understand.
Yeah.
So, we're getting shorter and shorter chapters. Um, so, it's really tough to kind of like make any definitive calls where, we're getting chapters that are half the length. And, I got no like negative feelings about that. He has to do what he has to do. At the end of the day, you got to watch after your health. And I'd rather him be healthy and get shorter chapters than, him overwork himself. Because this is a lot of hard work. I could just tell how much fucking work he's putting into these chapters just on an artistic level. So, yeah, I just hope honestly, I wouldn't mind if he just like took a month or two just to fucking settle himself, because I kind of like feel the stress through how fast paced the story feels.
Right? That shit is like raising my blood pressure.
Right? Yeah. And you know, if you're like a manga fan at all, you know how fucking stressful this job is. If you're like really into how it's made and how work intensive these folks are, it takes over their life, and I feel like it's getting to Horikoshi a little bit.
Yeah,
But
it's starting to really make me upset. I'm starting to get less and less upset at Horikoshi himself. I'm starting to just get upset about just the industry and I guess some of the culture over there in Japan that reacted so harshly to the choices he made in his manga that were incredibly tame, in my opinion. It's just sad and I'm just trying to be patient. I mean, we just got a 9-page fucking chapter.
yeah,
And I just immediately assumed it was going on break because why else would that happen? If I'm not criticizing him,
yeah,
I'm
no,
not criticizing Horikoshi. I felt like in your right mind and there was supportive people around him. He's done enough. He has a good enough story, and he has so much talent. He deserves that quality time and development.
bro. However,
You know, he deserves to take breaks.
however My Hero ends, I hope Horikoshi takes a multi-year vacation. I'm sure he could. My Hero's big enough that I'm sure he could do it, and I hope he takes like a really long time and comes back when he's rested, because this ain't for the weary. But as far as the story
Man,
goes,
it's tough, man. Like you said, I do. I feel it through the pages.
I started. I mean, I guess like I don't know why I guess we're on this topic just because we don't really know what to say, but like this chapter doesn't give us a lot to go on in terms of story. Um, but I like every now and then, like there's these. If you look on YouTube, you can look and there's stream like the creator of One Punch Man or the artist for One Punch Man. He like streams himself drawing chapters, and just like doing pencils and inks for one page is like 4 hours. And that's just like the rudimentary part of just drawing the thing.
The rudimentary part.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna write that down, but I might have. I might have on a different day.
uh, well, just remember what I said
I'm
then.
guessing rudimentary is another way of saying the fundamental or like
Yeah, the very basic
groundwork,
Yeah,
the
like
bedrock, so to speak.
like from the little draft, the pencil draft. There's like 2 pencil drafts he goes through. He like draws a very basic like layout for the page, and then he draws more details in pencil, and then he inks it, and then he like, and that's like probably like 3 hours, and then the next video is like another 3 hours of him finishing the inks and also doing the shading and all that stuff. And it's hard, man. This shit is difficult, especially for like the more detailed your art is, the harder it's got to be to get this shit done on time.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I can't even begin to imagine the effort
Yeah, this is
it takes to
something.
crank out these chapters. And I know
Twice,
he has help, but still.
twice also himself must be a fucking nightmare to shade. Like you see the gray parts of his costume are these oh, what do they call them? Half tones, screen tones, really. And I don't know if he does this manually because you can like just do this digitally now, but it used to be like there's these little like they're these pastable things. So say Toga's not Toga, Twice's mask, that gray part of his mask that's not pitch black, you would have to carve out the like that shade of gray and paste it onto wherever you need to paste it. Like with this tiny
Wow.
little surgical knife. It's kind of crazy. And every manga artist does it. If you see these halftones, just know there's a chance there's probably some poor assistant like pasting, like cutting these things out and pasting them on. It's insane. But anyway, I guess that's your art lesson for the day. Hello, Josh.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, never mind. No, I was just saying. I guess that's your art lesson for the day. But yeah, I guess that's my hero. I'm being cautious about this because like this is a storyline that I haven't particularly cared for up to this point. So I'm hoping that Horikoshi can change my mind here by the end of it. But I hope he's feeling better. He feels better at some point, and we get a little more full-fledged chapters for My Hero Academia. Do you have any closing thoughts before we move on?
Nah, not really.
Alrighty, then
Let's get more than 9 pages next week, maybe,
I hope so.
or just take a break. We can take a surprise
Just
break.
take a
It's
break, bro. Just don't. Just hey, take the day off, huh? Come back next week. Get some time off. All right. Let's move onward. Jujutsu Kaisen.
I missed that graph.
Yeah, I don't use it nearly enough. But this is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 226, Inhuman Makio Shinjuku Showdown Part 4. I did it again.
Oh, because neither of them are human. That's the point.
They are human. Well,
Not really.
Gojo's human.
No, he's not.
Sukuna's a cursed spirit.
Sukuna's a demon, basically. A
Basically.
cursed spirit, not a human.
Mhm.
And Gojo is God, who is actually not human,
That's true.
in case you didn't know.
Well, there you go. I have no idea. Gojo's a man. He's
That's
just a
why
man.
it's an Inhuman Showdown.
Yeah. Anyway, last we left off with Jujutsu Kaisen, the battle between Sukuna and Gojo continues onward.
We thought it came to an end. Well,
oh yeah,
not really.
we thought it
but
ended.
It looked like it.
Yeah, it looked pretty much over because Sukuna basically dominated Gojo's domain with his own domain, and the chapter ended with Gojo getting his neck sliced. And it looks like he's not doing so hot about that. Everybody's like Sensei, but then as I mentioned, as I furiously did research last week during the pod, we do see that Gojo uses reverse curse technique to heal that wound immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. So I guess the I'm Him Olympics will continue. And so basically like use reverse curse technique, but they're like, yeah, but Sukuna slashes won't stop inside his domain. And basically, and Choso is like, well, if he doesn't close his barrier, doesn't mean that running away will be easy. And Hikari explains that like, well, Malevolent Shrine's maximum effective area is about the size of Shibuya. So, he said if it's about the maximum about the size of Shibuya, then Gojo should be able to get away fast enough. But Kusakabe mentions like, no, his instantaneous movement uses limitless curse technique to compress and space coordinates. So he can't use his curse technique. So he's just gonna have to sit there and fucking take it. And then we basically get a 2-page spread of Sukuna slicing Gojo to Kingdom Come.
As he says the petty line. Well, I don't want to say petty, but I'm glad with regard to curse technique, I'm overwhelmingly stronger.
Is that Sukuna saying that? Because I was a little confused. Is that Gojo saying that? It's not entirely clear.
I don't know. It looks like,
because it shows up over Gojo getting cut up. Like that first panel is Gojo getting sliced like Swiss cheese.
yeah,
So
really bad.
But Gojo seems pretty calm, and he says, I'm going to assume that this is Gojo saying this, that with regard to curse technique, he's overwhelmingly stronger. And he dashes away somehow, but Sukuna cuts him off. He says, you think I'd let you go? And they go fisticuffs for a while. Gojo manages to just like get him on the ground and try to punch him, but Sukuna dodges. and he's like, and Sukuna is just thinking to himself, he's like, he moves well for somebody who just got cut so fucking much, who just basically got like flambéed by my cuts. And Gojo thinks to himself that apparently Malevolent Shrine Center isn't Sukuna, but it's the shrine itself. And at that point, Itadori asks, what if the shrine was trashed? And Kusakabe explains that, like, normally concrete manifestations of innate domains don't have special meaning or function. So, you know,
They're just there for flavor.
yeah, yeah, basically.
They're just ornamental.
Oh man, I never seen a power system just with swag. You know?
Yeah, it's so they're so upfront about it. Like, oh
Mhm.
no, it's just a nice aesthetic, like to people's personalities
Yeah,
and the nature of the curse technique. You
yeah,
know, it's doesn't really serve any other function
yeah.
physically or technically. I like that that was established
Mhm.
because Itadori was like, "Damn it, man! Can we just like throw a building at that at its shrine? Did we trash it,
Mhm.
TP it, or something? Spray paint it,
Yeah.
get on its front desk, front lawn,
Yeah, something
door,
like that.
whatever." So
Graffiti it?
I respect Itadori for trying.
Yeah.
That's a
You
good
gotta think
idea.
of
I would have
everything.
thought that too.
But yeah, they explain that. But Mei explains that, like, if the shrine is merely a symbol of the domain, then it can't be broken. Uh, if Gojo with his 6 eyes hasn't even attempted to do so, then it might be the case. Um, and I forget what I remember the star person. I would just forget their name at the moment. They're like, no, is there nothing he
Hmm.
can do? But then we see that Gojo activates a simple domain. And Itadori's like, wait, didn't Gojo say he couldn't do that? And he's like, no, he said he can't teach it. He's just naturally good at it. So he'd be shitty. He'd be a shitty teacher at it. He wouldn't know how to teach it because it's like breathing. You know, he's just nice at it.
He just does it.
Mm-hmm. And we get an explanation that the simple he casted a simple domain because it negates the guaranteed hit of the domain, and while he's in the simple domain, he can heal himself with the reverse curse technique. And they're like, how can he do both at the same time? But you know, Choso clarifies that, like, yeah, he's able to do both at the same time, but that's about it. It doesn't give him any other ability. It doesn't protect him in any way, because as we can see, Sukuna can just walk into the simple domain and start swinging.
Yeah, and it starts to deteriorate anyway.
Yeah, but Gojo heals himself, but then he takes another cutting technique from Sukuna. um, but at Gojo once again counters with the simple domain, and Sukuna's like, how tedious. And he starts fighting, but they notice that even though he has the simple domain up, Gojo's not healing himself with reverse curse technique. Um, and they're like, no, wait, does that mean he's like, and Okochi's like, no, he wouldn't run out of cursed energy right now. Um, so, you know, what the hat guy is basically saying, like, I mean, under normal circumstances he wouldn't run out of cursed energy, but he continued running reverse curse technique at full blast immediately after opening his domain, and he's expended
Hmm.
twice the amount of usual curse energy. So he there's a possibility that he ran out. And we then get a panel where Gojo gets cut at the neck again, and they're just like, is Gojo going to lose? And then the next page, Gojo immediately like clinches onto Sukuna, um, and Sukuna's like speechless now. And then all we see is curse technique reversal, and we see him Gojo like back off, but still hold on with his legs, and he does like the gun sign directly towards Sukuna, and they're like, wait, is that possible? And Okotsu explains that, like, maybe he couldn't heal his body because he was using reverse curse technique to heal his burnt out cursed energy. And with that, we get a 2-page spread where Gojo activates red and like repels Sukuna directly into the the shrine domain.
Taking heavy damage.
His face is halfway gone. That shit is
Yeah.
crazy.
But he's smiling.
And after that, the final panel is Gojo healing himself once again, and he's like, "That wasn't easy."
Oh,
he-
you think he's gonna have all of those scars?
no, he
after?
can heal them completely.
Oh,
We've
okay.
seen in other panels that
Yeah,
he
because it's
basically
not a good look. Not a
yeah.
good look.
We see in other
Oh,
panels that he heals them pretty much completely. So I think he's gonna be able to get rid of all of them.
nice.
But yeah, Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 226?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a really close week.
Whoa.
Very close. But I gotta give it to this one.
Yeah. Honestly, same for me.
Yeah, I figured.
This was a unified, really good chapter of the week. And also, for the record, technically, it also did win the audience vote, but the audience vote is a 3-way tie this week.
Three-way tie?
Yeah.
Well, they all get it then.
Yeah.
All right.
But in any case, we get a unified, really good chapter of the week.
Was My Hero Academia not one of the ties?
Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
No.
Wow. Well, I guess we weren't the only ones that felt that way.
But yeah, continue with your thoughts, Josh.
What a chapter. What a showdown. Where to begin? Gojo is that nigga. That goes without saying. But
Oh yeah.
I need to get into detail. So he literally healed through somebody's first, like someone's domain attack. He just tanked it. Like it's like, all right, I don't know when's the last time you played Pokemon, but it's like spamming fucking full restores versus like the computer, knowing like I'm gonna come out on top of this. You'll run out of attack, so you'll do something. You'll do a stupid move eventually, leaving me at full health, and I'll be able to, like, chip you down. It's crazy. Like the brute potency of his healing, of like just his cursed energy output in general, for him to use reverse curse technique and the domains and still fighting on Sukuna. He's everything they said he was. And he did say, when he mentioned that he could beat Sukuna, he did say it would be tough. He did say it would be tough, and that's funny because he ends the chapter with saying, "Q, this wasn't easy."
Mm-hmm.
Well done, Gigi. I really enjoy the commentary in this fight, because sometimes they say things that I'm already thinking about, and sometimes they bring my attention to things that I should be thinking about. Like, for example, I understood. I kind of already got the point that, all right, he used like he lost the domain battle, but he still tried to use the domain. So, it's hard to use curse energy in general after that, right? On top of that, he's been healing himself, using up a bunch of more curse energy. And then he's like using these simple domains, like he's spamming, he's going crazy using all his meter, like all his specials. So, like, to me, it made so much sense that he was like going to just run out of resources. Anyway, I was talking about the commentary, so I like how they mentioned that, like how one of them was like, nah, like Akotu was like, he's not gonna run out, like, of course not, and the other dude was like, nah, like you got to think about all of that. And again, that's one thing I already thought about, how you know how much he's been already expending. And then there's other things that I didn't really understand when they were talking about the simple domain. I kind of forgot what its purpose was prior. And, they reminded me basically that, yeah, the whole point of a simple domain is to kind of give you, it's a defensive strategy,
Yeah.
is to keep out somebody else's domain attacks. I guess, momentarily, or to give yourself a chance to escape or something like that. Just very helpful, and it's not overbearing. It was pacing the fight really well with quality commentary. And I was surprised. I really didn't know how it was going to go down. I mean, the fight's still going on, but man, Gojo got him. He said, I survived your whole domain onslaught and hit you with one of these rabbits. What's Sukuna going to do next?
Yeah.
And he wrecked it. And he wrecked his shrine. I know he's mad.
Yeah, the shrine still seems to be standing for the most part. So maybe he didn't wreck it.
Maybe
but
hopefully it's crumbling
yeah.
next week. Actually, it's off next week. Ow.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Fuck.
Ow.
L. Big L. Man, we're not going to have One Piece or Jujutsu Kaisen next week. Bummer.
Big L for the nation. Wait, 2 weeks for One Piece?
One Piece comes back.
No, more like a month.
One Piece comes back next in July. One Piece comes back.
I'm going to be on life support.
One Piece comes back in 28 days.
Wow.
I think it comes back right before my birthday, which is nice of Oda.
That is pretty sick, actually. Reminds me of when World Trigger came back right before my birthday.
One Piece started around my birthday.
That's sick. It was meant to be, bro.
For real.
It was meant to be.
Oda knew I was coming.
Yeah, what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on Jujutsu?
Oh my god, so good. So fucking cool. This series is just so fucking cool all the time.
Sure is.
Yeah, I love the Malevolent Shrine.
Sure is, bro.
I just love that. Like, that 2-page spread with a Malevolent Shrine is just tearing Gojo apart is fucking dope. So badass.
Yeah. I was worried for your boy.
No, my god, me too. Unfortunately, I was spoiled before I read it, so I knew that Gojo would be okay.
Oh, what were the mega spoilers? You see, he hit us up. This nigga hit us up in the chat, was like, mega spoilers on Facebook, bro.
Yeah, I got hit with the last page.
Oh, come on. We're looking all scarred up and shit.
Yeah.
When he was like, that wasn't easy.
Yeah, I got that. And I was like, fuck. You guys...
You kind of got the gist of it?
Oh, I mean, I knew Gojo was fine and doing well.
Yeah.
I knew
He's smiling.
Yeah, Gojo seems to be doing well is my first thought. And I'm like, man, people gotta chill.
So he's not dead.
There needs to be a fucking moratorium on spoilers. Like, we need to have an unwritten rule amongst us weebs that will wait. Some of us are trying to be official.
You live in a degenerate society.
For real. No class. What happened to honor among thieves?
Yeah.
But
none of that shit anymore.
Yeah, shit's crazy though.
Welcome to neoliberalism.
Is that what this is? Is that what neoliberalism is? Is just sharing spoilers?
Consumerism. Because they want so much attention. Because they know people gonna be mad. Like, why would you spoil it? They're gonna comment and get engagement up.
Yeah. I don't think that's what neoliberalism is. I think that's just being a content creator.
Well, neoliberalism wants to maintain the capitalism status quo. That's the point. And these people, they'll do anything in order to get engagement, in order to somehow make money for themselves via ad revenue or something like that. So that's what I mean by that. I think that the systems at place is what's creating this degenerative state.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I don't think you could get much money off spoilers because it's copyrighted material.
You can still get engagement to like your Facebook page, and then at the time you can get sponsorships.
That would be nice.
Or use that. You could use that viewership base to, sell other people's products or endorse something that you're doing.
Man, I want a sponsorship.
Yeah, well, maybe you should post some spoilers.
I would never do that.
Because you have honor.
I have
Because
honor.
you're not degenerative.
I'm not a fucking monster. Anyway, this was badass, dude. The whole time I was just like, "Whoa, this is so edge and cool and so fucking cool. Gojo rules."
Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah. Oh man, you know I like reading this. I'm like, man, I just hope Gojo wins.
Me too.
I hope Gojo mops the floor with Sukuna. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I hope that I think that would be just so funny and so interesting to go with. It's just Gojo wins as planned.
I don't like. It doesn't have to be the end of Sukuna. It could just be a setback for him. Like, yeah, get the fuck out of my student.
Yeah.
Go overtake Noritoshi.
I banished thee.
Right. He's exercising.
Yeah.
And Sukuna could just come back later on in the story
Or something like
That'd be
that.
fun.
Nothing against
Then
Sukuna, but
in his loss.
man, yeah, I just want the next chapter, man. It's everything you said about the commentary was really cool too. I wasn't a huge fan of it last chapter just because I was like, come on, get to the fight.
It dominated the entire fight. This was much better balanced.
Yeah, this was way better. But I feel like, I think Akutami, just because of the nature of this power system and how easy it is to forget the fucking details of everything, I feel like those kinds of things are necessary. And luckily, like, Akutami is a good enough writer that he can make the dialogue really fun to read and understandable. That's something that World Trigger does that I appreciate. It just makes it you can have exposition, and usually this would be a bad thing to have just people talking directly to the audience and explaining what's happening. But I think you can mask it. I mean,
this is a manga. No, I agree with you, but my nod is to say like, yo, like comics like this and World Trigger, they are manga readers. Manga.
That's what I'm saying. Is that like they mask that a little bit by making every character fun to read. Like, it's not just reading a manual; it's different characters' interpretations of the power system that they're explaining.
Right, their perspectives, how they understand things, which kind of gives you more of a insight into their personalities and how they may look at a fight.
Mm-hmm.
All interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Thank God for this chapter.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, so fucking good. This is one of the best chapters. I feel like every now and then we come on here and it's like, this was probably one of the best chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen.
I will say low key, this is one of the best.
It was this one. There was a few. There was that that Culling Game arc was full of the greatest chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I had to go back and read that.
Oh my god, I can't wait to go back.
Gotta just wait for the anime to get there,
bro. I don't know how I feel like the anime is gonna go crazy because I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the second season, but it looks crazy.
No, but I can't believe it's still not here.
It comes out in July.
It needs to come out tonight.
I don't know how far they're going. I know they're covering the backstory, the Gojo backstory thing with Toji in them. That's like the first thing we're gonna see. And then they're probably gonna get to, because after that it's the Mechamaru fight right after that. So I don't know if they're gonna get to Shibuya actually, but I hope they do. I hope they get to Shibuya.
Yeah, me too. I really do, because the first season was really short, in my opinion.
Yeah, the first season covers a lot. It's like 20-something episodes. They get up to that fight with Choso siblings, and that's where it ends. But anyway, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so excited to see the anime, and I can't wait to see this animated. It's gonna go crazy, guys. You guys aren't ready.
Wait, if your first season goes all the way up to that? I thought the first season only goes up to the school.
No, it goes up to
tournament.
It goes up to the arc directly after that, and that's it. Because the arc after that is when they fight the two Choso siblings, where where Nobara and Itadori fight those two dudes.
Yeah, them ugly looking things.
Yeah, and then after that will be Gojo's backstory, basically, which is where the second season is going to start.
Okay. Cool stuff.
Cool stuff. If you're anime onlys and you happen to be listening us talk about the 222nd chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, you're not ready. Anyway, that was Jujutsu Kaisen, everybody. Fantastic chapter, very fun, lots of action. Gojo is the goat. Goat Joe. Am I right?
Yeah. Joe.
Goat Joe. All right. Well, with that being said, I suppose we can move onward.
Oh no, we can't move onward. I have a question.
Oh, yeah. What's your question?
Law versus Gojo. Who you got?
Gojo.
Easy?
I feel like once you square up to Law, he's not very strong.
But you're inside his domain to square up with him.
Yeah, but anything he does to you, like, will Law's, if you're inside Law's room, but you have the infinity around you, does the things that Law does affect you still?
Mm.
Maybe these guys just cancel each other out.
That's a good question. Something to think about. I wish Brian was here. I would have loved his perspective too.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody in the comments? I'd love to hear.
Yeah, you
what
let
y'all
us
think.
know. To be honest, I'm actually curious about that. That's actually a fun matchup. I think it would just come down to a hand-to-hand combat in which Gojo would probably beat Law.
For sure, if that was the case.
Yeah.
But what that really means is that it comes down to whose ability is going to work through the others.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if Gojo opens his domain anywhere near Law, it's over.
Oh, right, because they both have domain type ability. I don't know. You could warp reality.
Yeah, but only to a relatively like chill degree compared to other reality warpers.
Fair enough.
Like it's more like your like your body and your will is kind of like his to control, really, because he could just cut you up and stuff. He can dissect you and cut you up a little bit, and you won't die. But yeah, I don't know. All right, I guess we're ready to move on then. Right? We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't really have to fucking care who's in my way. I'm gonna fucking kill everybody.
Chainsaw Man. This is Chainsaw Man, chapter 132, Protection. So, last we left off, Denji survived yet another encounter with the devil, this time thanks to Nayuta's help, who basically controlled the weird tendril demon so that after it ate Denji, it would think it tasted like crap and, spit Denji and Asa out. And
Which deeply offended.
Yeah, which deeply offended the the falling devil, and she basically it destroyed this demon, and that's when Famine came in and was like, "All right, game over. You can go home now." And they were talking about how Nostradamus's prediction would be coming true soon, and Famine has been trying to control the Chainsaw Man so that she can prevent. Oh wait, not control Chainsaw Man. Control the War Devil, so that she could prevent Nostradamus's prediction, whatever it is, to bring about an age of demons. And for the simple fact that if an age of demons occurs, that then that means it'll be over for pizza and Chinese food. And neither her nor Nayuta are down with that. Unfortunately, though, Nayuta refuses to help Famine because she's got school, damn it. She's got school. It's a school night. It's a fucking Tuesday. I can't be helping you save the world. And we cut to Nayuta in school. And she's at lunch and she's just eating her lunch, and then she just commands these kids to give her her dessert, and they're like, okay, because she is the control devil.
I
And they
think it's
just,
worth mentioning that there are boys around her,
oh
like
yeah,
while she's in the lunchroom. So it's funny. I think it's worth mentioning that because it could be the control thing, because that's how it works. If you have affection for her,
mm-hmm.
she can control you or something like that.
Yeah, it's
I think that's
probably.
how it works, right?
I think it's probably. I think it's easier for her if you like her or if you're attracted.
Yeah, I think I'm confusing it more with the war devil, but
I think
whatever.
no
I
matter
think
what,
it's just funny because it could have easily just been that just because these boys like her,
yeah, I think no matter
so
what
she can
she,
control them knowing that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think no matter what she can control you to some degree, but it's probably easier if you like her.
but it may not even be the case here
No,
because them boys. Yeah, I just thought that
well,
was
it
a
could
little
be.
funny.
I'm not saying it's a definitive no. It could actually be the case. I think it's no coincidence that it's boys. Um,
Right. I think he did it like that to be funny because what seems super random
yeah,
if you just look at the entire picture. You know,
yeah,
this guy's all about depth and detail.
yeah. So these kids start talking about how kids are moving away from Tokyo, probably because there's devils everywhere, and you know, I guess people are getting smart and being like, we shouldn't live where there's constant giant devil attacks. Um, and
Yeah, the
also,
whole like half a neighborhood got leveled yesterday.
yeah, and they mentioned that some kids also died, some kids that they knew personally, um, which is depressing to live in this world. I would not want to live in the Chainsaw Man world.
Right. One of them was like, "She's missing you." Mean. And Nayu was just like,
Oh,
"Oh,
really?
crazy."
All right. And that's when a group of like SWAT team esque guys with guns pull up and point their guns at Nayuta. And from there, we cut over to Asa, who wakes up, I think, in a hospital in an emergency room. Um, and she's, surrounded by people who are injured from the recent demon attacks. And we're hearing news reports that there are power outages and missing persons everywhere. The number of missing persons exceed 2,000. So it is not great. It's a very depressing scene. Um, and Asa starts thinking to herself that Chainsaw Man saved her again. Um, and all of a sudden, we hear on TV that Japan isn't alone in this, that there are gravity fluctuations all over the world. Um, and they're understanding that they're heading towards the fucking apocalypse, and they can't really count on politicians and devil hunters. So who is it that that beat both the falling devil and the gun devil? That's right, Chainsaw Man. And he says Chainsaw Man saves us for no reward, and I want to work with him. And that's why this kid from before, it's revealed that it's that kid from the aquarium. He founded the Chainsaw Man Church for World Peace. So, yeah, he's basically recruiting people to fight alongside Chainsaw Man and to prevent the prophecy of Nostradamus, and to fight against demons and stuff. And everybody's like, yeah. Somebody's like, oh, peace. In the background is so weird. Um, but I guess like the TV announcer is like, Izumi, was it? You really buy into this Nostradamus stuff? Careful now, if you fail your college entrance exams before the end of the world, your life is gonna end first. And everybody laughs at him.
Yeah.
And the kid is just like, damn it. Isumi, I think is Isumi is like, damn it. Did I really have to appear on that fucking show? Everybody made fun of me. And we see that Famine is next to him talking, and she's like, relax. Ridicule was the point. And he's like, why? And she's like, you don't need to think. And someone pulls up behind Yuzumi and is like, it's like Fami says, your job is to be the face, Fami is the brains, and together you move the body, the Chainsaw Man Church. And with that body, you're gonna walk towards a world without evil, aren't you? And all of a sudden, Isumi is just afraid. He's like, yes, I know, it's all for Chainsaw Man's sake. And speaking of which, Chainsaw Man is now tied up in a room with Squid Boy. So, he's like, gosh, this is a relief. Squid Boy is like, gosh, this is a relief. I'm glad I got you protection safe and sound. And Denji's like, you think this is protection, falling asleep in class only to wake up tied to some chair? And Squid Boy explains that Asa is in the hospital, and they say that her injuries are minor. And Denji asks, where's Nayuta and the dogs? And Squid Boy is like, as of now, we're protecting them, same as you. And
Protecting.
yeah, he says protecting in a very ominous way. And Denji is like, you just try to tie them up like this, I'll kill you dead. And Denji goes crazy. He says, send us home right now. I'll even tongue your butthole for a week to thank you.
Oh boy! As this dude is looking down at him, smiling, like, yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. That's what I want to hear.
To be honest, thank God Squid Boy is like, well, we're not going to hurt Nayuta or the dog, so no tonguing necessary. Not while you're under our protection anyway. And the chapter ends with Denji just telling him to go to hell. And yeah, that was Chainsaw Man. Josh, what did you think about Chainsaw Man chapter 132?
I like this chapter. This wasn't my second favorite, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. But it was it's funny how we get these chapters sometimes every now and then from Chainsaw Man where like the news is talking about the recent events. And it's always funny how I feel like manga stories uh when they have the world, shed light on the actual activities around the protagonist and all the mystical crazy shit that's happening. Chainsaw Man does that every now and then. It almost reminds me of One Piece too. Like when they do their what's going on around the world
Yeah.
situation. I mean, obviously it's not as grand, but I like to see the state. I like that this comic kind of like constantly gives us the state of the world and how everyone is taking these things. Because, like I mentioned earlier, a whole neighborhood got leveled fighting that thing. People seen those testicles, bro. Everyone was, and then the falling dove. I forgot all about that. Mad people committing suicide.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. People gonna be like, "What the fuck? What is going on?" And yeah, it's a jumbled mess. And the attitude is that the world is veering towards apocalypse. So yeah, I'm interested in these themes. And now you have Famine talking to this weirdo with the headband and the fake chainsaw thing on his chest. And then you have who I believe is actually the other chainsaw person that that we've been getting little teasers of. I think that's the person that put their hand on his shoulder.
Oh yeah, Fake Saw Man.
Yeah, fake saw man. I just have this hunch. I don't have any real context behind that. Actually, I just what, I'm gonna take that back because he was working against Famine.
That's true.
So there's no, I don't think they're in cahoots. Yeah, this chapter gave me a lot to think about, and it was also funny at the end. He always finds a way to do something so weird and out of nowhere. Whether that's for the sake of his story or with his character saying ridiculous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love great chapter this week.
Yeah,
I'm glad
agreed.
it's not off. It's not off, right? Yes, 14
No,
hours.
it comes
I
out
thought it said
tomorrow.
14 days.
It comes out 14 hours from the recording of this podcast. Okay, so Chainsaw Man is one of the Oh, is it? No, wait. No, never mind. I'm bugging. It was not one of the chapters that was tied three-way. But it should be. It's pretty good. I really enjoyed this chapter. It's I do love how kind of the world is just like, well, this devil shit is kind of like another Tuesday. So I guess it's hard in this world to see just when this shit happens every day, the scale of how bad things really are. Because this is kind of, in a sense, normal in this world. So it was funny to see this guy basically talking about how like the apocalypse is for real coming this time, and everybody's just laughing it off because how fucking regular this kind of thing happens. I don't know. I feel like I guess we're gonna find out who Squid Boy is working for finally. Because it's not the Devil Hunters again, I guess. So I'm wondering who he is and who he's working for. But
Yeah. I wonder.
That's all I really gotta say.
And
about
I
it.
wonder.
And I wonder if you know who Squid Boy
don't.
works for. Who Squid Boy
Sure
works
don't.
for. And I wonder. Okay, anyway. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about Chainsaw Man. Fun, funny chapter as usual. Excited for tomorrow, basically, when I get to read it again. But yeah, you ready to move on to the next chapter, Josh?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Oh damn, I hit. All right, here we go. Oh damn.
The champ is here!
Black Clover, as I'm pulling it up now. Black Clover. This is Black Clover chapter 362, Transmission. Last we left off, Lucius pulled an Eisen and was like, I'm too powerful to be defeated by regular means. Meh. Now you have to deal with my overwhelming power. And cloned himself a billion times. But luckily, we got to see that Asta is now currently on his way, and the Black Bulls have a means to get him back home. And we're starting this chapter off with the king, who is freaking out again, as usual. He's like, what in blazes is all this? No matter what it is, protect me! And Captain Kaiser... Yeah. Captain Kaiser goes down with a single punch from Lucius. And nobody knows what to do. Everybody's having a rough time because they're just getting nuked by magic. And we get a transmission from I think this was like the second in command for the Wizard King. I forget his name, but he pulls up and he's like, "Attention! The Wizard King's body has been stolen by the enemy. As you know, his power is enormous. He is the ultimate foe. However, in full awareness that there are people who are still risking their lives to defend the kingdom, one of them has already defeated the Wizard King once. I believe many of you know him." And they said, like me, the Royal Mimosa Vermilion, he's a member of the Golden Dawn. And they say, like, one who distinguished himself in battle many times, his name is Yuno. And, everybody's hyping up Yuno, trying to get the fighting spirit going, basically, throughout this chapter. So, yeah, they basically say, if you intend to save anything, you must have the will to survive. Power that tries to protect, to live on is the strongest thing there is. And she thinks, isn't that right, Asta? So, she yells out, please don't give up. And, Seke actually pulls up and he's like, everyone, while I'm fighting, run for it. And he uses his bronze magic to hold off one of the paladins, or the angels, whatever the fuck these faceless NPCs are.
This is just a regular angel.
Yeah. Seke gets nuked by its regular attack, but Seke is just like, there's no way there's no way I could level up that easy. I still did try to get stronger. And he just like kind of gets up and he says to himself, I'm not done yet. I could get back up. I can still fight like you, Asta. And
that was really cool, actually.
It was really cool.
I thought it was cool. I thought his spell was really dope too. I thought he was about to do something.
Yeah.
That cannon nigga made like a little cannon fortress. Like it was a defensive and offensive thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, man, because he's been trying, yo.
Yeah, he has been trying, and that's like, it's so cool. He still got up, and meanwhile, of course, Lucius has to be a fucking dick about it. It's like, that's mere sophistry. No matter how hard you struggle, it will end the same way. But what?
What is sophistry? I need to look that up.
Yeah, look that up, Josh, because I actually don't know what sophistry is. Probably like stupid, some dumb shit, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like sophisticated, but
That's some dumb shit.
let's
And
see. Sophistry. Sophistry. The use of fallacious arguments, especially with the intention of deceiving.
goddamn, he calling him a liar.
Wow.
Oh, I think he's calling Mimosa a liar.
Yeah, she's capping and lying.
He's just like, she's a lying bitch. No matter how hard you struggle, no matter how hard you work and how much power of friendship, it never works. But Yuno knows better. He looks at him and is like, I wouldn't count on that. And
Wait, you don't know who my friend is?
yeah, you don't know who
You
Push Ups
forgot about him
McGee is?
already? So could you beat him once that meant anything?
You know how many people beat him once and then he just came back and beat them?
Yeah, mad time.
That's kind of
That's
his
the
thing.
whole series, my nigga.
That's kind of his thing.
You're destined to lose. I beat you already, so you're in trouble.
Yeah.
If I could beat you, that means Asta could beat at least 10 of y'all niggas.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
Speaking of Asta, we cut over to the Land of Sun, where Asta asks Ryu where everybody is, and he explains that they're ready on the other side.
He's using his Sharingan.
Yeah, he's literally using the Sharingan. And he's like, they're on the other side. Now you just wait. No, that's and as on the other side of the portal, as they're about to bring Asta forward, they get interrupted by I forget this guy's name, but he's the fucking scales dude.
Oh, Damnatio.
Damnatio. Thank you. Wow, you really remember that?
Wait,
huh?
he's a special angel?
Yeah.
I remember the name because it was so weird. It's for someone with like scales. Like he's supposed to be chill, but his name is Damnatio. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think because he damns people, he judges them.
I guess so.
Maybe that's what he was going for. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look up Damnatio. That's for sure. I've looked up 2 words already.
Yeah, you could clock out now. You've looked up 2 words.
1 word per series at least.
Yeah, I'll look up Damnatio. There he is.
It could be a made up word.
No, it's Damnatio. His name is Damnatio Kira. All right. Well, there you go. He is a paladin currently, and he is blocking the Black Bull's way to Asta. So I guess we're gonna get an entire Black Bulls versus Damnatio fight, which I'm excited for.
He been had beef with them too. This is nice because he's gonna be talking that. He's gonna be saying how he really feels.
Yeah.
Remember how they're still themselves. Like they're still themselves, but just
evil.
Really on Lucius' side. Like, yeah, we really believe what you say. I'm still me. Except for the parts that would disagree with anything you have to say.
This is still my personality generally, except for the parts where I don't like Lucius.
Yeah, and disagree. Yeah.
So yeah, what did you think, Josh?
My thoughts? Yeah, I like this chapter. I thought it was cool. I thought the broadcast by Mimosa was and the other person was kind of sappy. Didn't care for it. We got interesting towards the end. Honestly, the moment of the chapter for me was Mr. Seke, man. I thought he was about to launch a blast at this nigga. Only for it was so man, it was so heart wrenching when I turned the page and just seen what I didn't see the angel shooting a beam. I seen his thing destroyed first. That's the first thing I noticed, and I assumed that he shot like what he did was trade, like with the angel. Like they both like shot each other. I would have been like, "Oh, that's sick. At least he took it out." And then I looked at the picture again. And was like, "Oh, the angel just took him out." But then he said, "I'm not going to give up. I'm still going to get up. Maybe he's going to use the spell again and unlock something even greater, like a fucking bronze Gundam."
Yeah, that would be sick.
That'd be pretty sick.
Pretty sick.
Or bronze battle fortress to fucking support the city. Oh, that would be lit. All right. What are your thoughts? That's all I really had.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Seke was like the show stealer. And you know what's funny? Like I'm still reading Black Clover from the beginning and
Mhm.
seeing where Seke started out as just kind of like one of them like early series disposable villains that you never
Yeah,
see
yeah.
again. And then he just like pops up every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
Like
cool
a
to see his
Black Mirror
development.
for Asta. Like
Yeah.
the opposite of his development arc. Like it's so crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool to see just like the like it his development didn't need to be like super overt, so but it is cool to see that
No, it
he's
didn't.
getting tiny little like spurts of development here and there. That I think is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's Oda-esque.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Ishiro.
Ichiro Oda. But yeah,
Get better soon.
yeah. But yeah, that was the highlight for me. It was cool to see Damnation, and I'm looking forward to all the Black Bulls doing their thing, and fighting him, because I believe his
it's gonna be
powers
sick.
are pretty strong. So I guess they got to protect basically the teleportation circle they're doing. So that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I haven't seen this space dude fight in a little while. It's always interesting. The last fight he had was with his bro, and it wasn't that intricate,
well, the
in
thing
my
is,
opinion.
I don't think he can.
But they was losing too.
I don't think he can fight. He's got to keep the portal open. So I think they're gonna have the rest of the Black Bulls are gonna have to protect him.
That's fair. He's had so much shine already, so
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Let's see everybody else go fucking hey.
Hey,
I know
let's get
you want
Mirror
to see
Guy.
Zora to traps.
Let's
I
get
know you
some.
want to see that.
Yeah,
You
I
want to
do.
see that ashy magic.
Oh, I want to see the Ash, Mr. Ash.
Yeah. You want to get ashy.
I do want to get it. Let's get ashy.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Black Clover. I'm excited more for next chapter. This was a cool little build up thing, for this next conflict. So, I'm more excited for that. But
Damnation.
Damnation. So without further ado, we can move on. Yeah. Any final
We are
thoughts?
allowed to.
Ooh, I'm allowed. Well,
Mm-hmm. I
since-
give permission for us to move forward.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Tank Top Sage.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Despite the fact that I'm dressed to the nines, I'm still packing heat, and I'm gonna pull out my weapon.
Undead Unluck.
You.
All right, I'm gonna toss it over to Josh. He's gonna take over Undead Unluck for me.
What's good, everybody? Undead Unluck. Chapter number 163, Bad Road. Before I even start the chapter, I'm going to have some restraint and save my thoughts for the title of the chapter until the very end when it's appropriate. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Josh having self-discipline. Rare. I'm in rare form, guys. Anyway, last week it was established that Fuko is indeed going to fight against Fang only if and when she comes on top of the tournament, because she forced Fang to make that happen. Cool stuff. But she also said that she was going to train Shen up to be stronger than Fang, and Fang thought that was really interesting. Not interesting enough, as we're going to find out though soon. So here we are. Fuko is again letting Fang know that she's going to train him up. And he's like, "Cool, all right, we'll see you in some time when this tournament begins." So Fuko begins to explain to Shen, who's very skeptical about who she is, because this has been a wild ride for him. We established this last week, that when we actually had a conversation about this, like, does he know her? Like, how does he know her? How did Fuko learn from him prior, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Shen is just as confused as us, and he needs answers. So Fuko is just very confidently explaining to him how, like, listen, like, I know you because this world is in a loop. And in the previous world, we were friends. And, I survived the last loop and made it here. So, yeah, I know about you. I also learned the Shin Hakakyu. Wait, Hakyoku? Hakyoku? I learned the Shin
Shin.
Hakyoku from you at the time, Mr. Shin. And that she says that all she could do was like learn the basics of it, like the basic kata, which gives a explanation into how she trained really hard on her own after learning the basics and got that nice. So Fuko is number one as far as I'm concerned. Like number one in this manga and probably
Strongest
number one
character.
in shonen protagonist.
Whoa, shonen protagonists.
Who's realer than Fuko?
Monkey D. Luffy.
Yeah, you're right.
That was Gojo Sensei.
He's not a protagonist.
Itadori Sensei.
No.
Itadori is
Fuko's
not realer
better
than
than him.
Fuko?
Huh?
Itadori is not realer than Fuko?
No.
That's high praise.
Come on, Fuko-chan done lived 2 lives.
That's true.
She'll look at you. She'll look at you in your eyes, nigga, while you look over her because she's that small, and she's gonna say, "Young man, you have a lot of life left in you. I believe in you." She'll talk to you because you're the youngster.
That's true. I would be the youngster.
Yeah. What's Itadori gonna say to her? Oh, if I curse spirits? Anyway.
If I could fit? That's not impressive.
Luffy gets the nod because he holds his nuts way too much. Way too much in his series for way too long. So he holds his nuts in more times in one arc than people do in their entire series. So anyway, the world. So going back to Fuko trying to explain to Shen how she knows him so intimately and his situation. He's Nico starts to let Fugo know that they're not really catching on because they're like yeah nice, not buying any of it. So Fugo's like trying to figure out, damn, how can I break this down and explain to y'all like that this is real. Shen interrupts her and lets her know like, look, like the point is I know you're real. I know you're number one. I know you're better than Itadori and a lot of others. And I could tell by the way you synchronized with my punch to stop the demon staff from from destroying us. So that's good enough for me. Good enough for me. But I guess prior to figuring all that out, we had this little funny moment where Fuko is able to get out of him, like because she asks like, "What are you fighting for?" basically, and she's able to suss out that he's doing it for like a sick friend, and the friend happens to be Mui, who I guess he meets at a different point in this loop, but meets her nonetheless, which is I guess cute and romantic.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'm a sucker for those things. I'll say it. I like that.
I'm a lover boy.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a romantic.
But yeah, Fugo just lets him know, like, let's get stronger together. And that's when Shen tells her, like, yeah, like I accept you, and I'm ready for you to teach me how to be the strongest. So we have an interesting moment where when they go to shake hands, Fugo Squire is like saying, like, hey, hold on, because she starts to undo her wraps to like bare hand shake his hand, knowing that she's gonna pass on luck to him. And sure as hell, when she does it, a sign falls and breaks over his fucking head, which he took no problem. But it was like, yeah, that's weird. But that left everybody puzzled left me puzzled too. But I kind of had an idea, but we're gonna get to that in a moment. So, speaking, I'm actually just putting this together now, right? So the next page, we get the tournament seeding results, and it's basically literally a one man climb to the finals, with Shen being at the very end, at the very like lowest point of the tournament, and it's just a series of him facing off against like a contender without them having to fight at all. He just the next fighter only has to fight the winner of the previous round.
Yeah.
So Shen has basically he has to climb this fucking hill against Void, Yusaye, Billy, and ultimately Fuko. Which Fuko says, huh, if I win once, I'm in the finals. He was like, yo, that's some clear fucking favoritism. He just wants to fight you, like, that's why it was funny. Like, he seemed interested in the beginning of the chapter, but clearly he could care less about facing off against Shen or anybody else really, because he doesn't want Fuko to be tired at that. That is so funny to me. But the realization I had was that maybe the bracket came out this way because of the unluck. Maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that
Maybe
was
it was just clear favoritism.
Yeah, I think it was just clear favoritism too.
He just wants Fuko to be fresh for the end. It's fucking hilarious. But this ends up being a blessing in disguise for Fuko, anyway. So yeah, Shen is mad because he's like, "What the fuck? Like, I have to fight against all these people," and boy just says, "Good luck," as he goes up to the ring. Oh, the irony! Irony is strong indeed, because as Shen is complaining, Fuko touches his bare skin again with her hand and her bare skin, and passing more unluck, and she says, "Don't worry, do your best," with a deadpan stare. As Shen is still raging towards Fang. So Nigo finds he's like, "Yo, like, what are you doing?" Excuse me. Fuko's like, "Man, what does it look like? I imbued Mr. Shen with unluck," and they're like, "Why? The fuck is wrong with you?" And then she makes a really good point. I'm actually just going to read from the chapter because their words say it much better than I ever could. It says, up until now, whenever I was set out to recruit one of you, I've always come up with ways to avoid your tragedies to unlock the negator events, right? And as a result, each time I came to the same conclusion, that you didn't need to gain your negator abilities. Interesting. Sure, it would help our forces if you did, but the abilities are as harsh as they are helpful. Given the choice, I figured it'd be better if you didn't have them. I'm going to leave a note there because I disagree heavily with Foucault, and the disagreement's name is called Unmove, the most clutch ability of them all. But we'll talk about that later.
Chikara's?
Oh, not Unmove.
Gina is Unchange.
Gina's Unchanged. Yeah, because that shit is super clutch and OP. The next level, she's like Jean Grey basically,
Yeah.
without telepath. So anyway, so she's like, yeah, she'd always come up with ways to avoid the tragedies. All right, blah blah blah. Given the choice, she figured it'd be better if they didn't have the negator abilities, but that's not the case this time. That basically she wants her unluck to reel in the tragedy so that he can unlock his negator ability and untruth. So Nico's like surprised and he's like, "Why are you doing it intentionally? Like, wouldn't he hold a grudge?" And she thinks it'll be fine simply because he enjoyed his ability in the prior loop. I think that's very loose reasoning. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, all the parts for the tragedy are in place. If they're just pitting all our members against Mr. Strand, then the tragedy's bound to trigger somewhere along the way. I don't know why she's so certain about that. And anyway, we'll talk. We'll talk later. So she says, "Please learn your negation ability. To become the strongest, you'll have to tackle this path of trials, the best and worst around. bad road. So Shen, so as Foucault was narrating all of this, Shen was beginning his fight against Mr. Void, and he learned very fast that he cannot about how what is that about unavoid works,
Mm-hmm.
that he can't put his guard up to avoid getting hit, so that he has to actually just trade. So he learns that pretty fast, and he starts to smile and laugh and says, "All right, if I overcome this, I'll become the strongest." And Fugo's happy because he's like, he gets it. That's my master for you. All right, and that was the end of the chapter. I really enjoyed this chapter. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I really liked it too. I honestly, one of the things that really got me is the two panels. There's two panels in a row. The first one
Yeah.
where Fuko causes the sign to fall on Shen's head, immediately followed by that face fault where he realized he's fighting every round.
Yo, yeah, that was hilarious.
Both of those things, like one of them just knocked me off balance, and then the second one just knocked me off. Like I was just like knocked out laughing a little bit. I just love how he's like, wait, what?
Wait, he bounced for a second. He's like, all right, I expected some bullshit, but come on. Nigga made me the main character. Nigga turned him into the main character of the series. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah. I mean, I just wanted to get that off first. I think this was a very funny chapter. I really like this chapter a lot, and I'm enjoying this arc a whole lot too. Just is just so fun. With regard to like Fuko, I'm like trying to think of it as well because I feel like it's maybe the wording is off. Because I think like she's been trying to get people to avoid their tragedies. She's like trying to like have her cake and eat it too, where people can gain their negation abilities without having to suffer the tragedy.
Yeah.
So-
I think that's how I understood it.
Yeah, so like she's trying to
her saying
find
this.
she was trying to find alternate ways to get people their negation abilities without them having to suffer as much. But Shen is different where for whatever reason, and I feel like maybe that's something they'll get into next week. Um it it makes sense because the tragedy needs to happen for Shen so that Shen could deny it and be in a state of denial about it. And thus, I guess, activate his untruth.
Oh, that makes some sense. I can reason with the explanation in a way that if it's not a misunderstanding, maybe she's also saying that even though she would have, and I don't think she's implying this, but I'm willing to fill in the gaps and be like, maybe like even if she wanted, like it would like well yeah no that is actually what she said, that the boost to their combat abilities and stuff would be welcome, right? But she'd also be fine if they just was able to avoid the tragedy altogether,
Right.
even if they couldn't. So I think that was I get it. I think she's just saying she was willing to live with that. That would have, like, as long as the tragedy didn't happen, whether they got the negator ability or not, that was really the primary focus.
Yeah.
However, in Shen's case, that's just not the thing. The negator ability is a must, and it's better for the world than him overall.
Or I
He gets
think
it.
I think in general, like the tragedy needs to happen because the way he copes with that tragedy is what unlocks his negation.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah, and hopefully it happens in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
Not with his sister dying
Exactly.
or being at
Exactly.
risk of dying. Fair.
At least that's how I interpret it so far. Maybe they'll like clarify it next week, but yeah, I thought this chapter was a lot of fun. I mean, I've been a big fan of this arc. I'm very excited to see where it goes, how the tragedy ends up. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about it. Josh, what did you think?
This was my second favorite chapter. I really wanted to make this the best of the week, but there's no way I was gonna shit on Jujutsu Kaisen like that.
No, it's tough.
For that masterpiece. But this chapter had so many things in it that made it enjoyable and interesting, and makes me look forward to not just the next chapter, but the art. It's I mentioned this a couple times before throughout the podcast, but I don't have that same excitement week to week for when the manga drops as I used to when I was younger, when it was much newer to me. I used to be so excited. I used to think about it during the week, like, man, what is going to go down? And now I just patient. I'm patiently waiting. I don't even wait for it to drop. I just know it drops Sunday, and then I get to it when I get to it. Before the podcast. So I don't feel that strong pull after reading this chapter. Like, oh man, next week I'm going to be thinking about it every night. But I know that when they do drop, and I see Undead Unlocked, it's going to be, it's going to be enticing. And that's just not always the case week to week with a lot of these chapters, especially not the super popping ones like One Piece and Jujutsu and I suppose My Hero from time to time. Anyway, some standout moments. It may not be much, but I just enjoy Fuko as a leader and as a protagonist in the series on her own without Andy as well. Um, she's so like I keep saying the word is confident. There's probably a better word for it. But when it comes to the things she knows and she believes in, she's super headstrong, but not in like a annoying way, like how I guess certain characters like Asta can come off, where they're just like, all right, I get it. Like Fuko can be sappy, but it's the best kind of sappy. It's always in support, and like of others, and like and with patience, because she never just. I don't think she doesn't force things on people, except in this little situation where she's trying to force a tragedy for Shen. But I think you know what I mean when I say like she allows people to come to their conclusions on their own, and that's because she believes in everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Not just negators, but she cares about people in general. It breaks her heart that her unluck affects anybody, especially her loved ones, but really anybody. And that it's crazy how that's been a core part of her character since the very first chapter. And it's just remained consistent, but it's evolved. It's went from her being so like her caring so much that she shut herself away and was shy to communicate and be intimate with people, to now she just embraces it so much and looks forward to it, and even when somebody else doesn't want to, she, again, like I said, she's not pushy. She's basically like that's like the big sister you want, or even a mom. She'd make a great fucking mother. I bet she'd be a great, well, as long as she doesn't pass unluck to them.
Yeah.
In the womb, Jesus, I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, she is the big sis in all the best ways. She's the big sis from every series combined with the heart of gold. So, and you have moments like this everywhere. And she's not soft either. That's it. That's the thing. She's not soft either. Look what she's doing to Shen. She's like, you're gonna be all right. I know you're tough.
You'll
She
make
didn't do
it.
that with everybody else. You know what I mean? But she knew Shen could take it. She knew Shen could handle it. So she's like, yeah, you got this, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna go through a gauntlet of negators, and they're gonna cheat, and you shiced to fight you, and you gotta overcome it. Because I know you can. And you're definitely gonna need to be able to do that at least in order to beat that fucking guy. Bang.
That guy over there.
His thirst knows no bounds.
It really doesn't.
Yeah. So, back to the title of this chapter. That's so self-restraint for. Ooh, Bad Road. How Japanese is that? How fucking Japanese of the author is that, like, to make that not only the title of the chapter, but to make that a special move. You know, that's Void's one of Void's moves, right? Bad Road.
Bad Road.
You right? Like, we wouldn't call a move that. We'd be like, damn, you knocked that nigga out, or super punch or something like that. They say Bad Road because bad sounds so fucking cool to them.
Cool.
Like when a Spanish person says Miércoles instead of Wednesday, that's like, whoa. Wow. You know, Mantequilla instead of butter. You know what I mean? That's fucking epic. I would like make a superhero Mr. Mantequilla. That's crazy. But in English, Mr. Butter.
It's Mr. Butter.
I mean Spanish. The Spanish people, it's just
What about
Señor
Mr. Miércoles?
Señor Miércoles.
Señor Miércoles.
Miércoles.
Maybe it's like
That's Wednesday, right? Yeah.
it's a Brave and the Bold type of thing. It's Mr. Mantequilla and Señor Miércoles.
Yeah, the most epic names that aren't really epic to a
At all.
native language. That's Bad Road.
That's
It's
Mr.
really
Butter
cool.
and Mr. Wednesday.
Yes, it is. I guess I should write those down.
Yeah.
I guess
I think that's the title. I think that's the title for the episode.
Sure. There you go.
Mr.
There you have it.
Mr.
But, yeah.
Mr. Mantequilla and Señor Miércoles.
I live for this. You have to understand that. I part of the reason that I open up the app on Sundays and read these comics and also like do this podcast and all of that is for moments like that when the Japanese people use English in a cool way to them, but very moderate, tame way to me. I enjoy it thoroughly. I enjoy it so much more than I care to admit, which says a lot because I've admitted a lot so far. I like it more than that. So
Let's
there you have it,
fighting
guys.
love.
I'm
Let's
leaving myself out there,
fighting love.
exposing myself to the world, wearing my heart on my sleeve. You ain't gonna get that nowhere else, guys. New Jump City podcast. Leave a like. Comment how you felt about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's your favorite
Friends, too.
weird
Yeah, nigga. Subscribe too.
what's your
All
favorite
of
English to Japanese name?
Yo, yeah. Tell us, yeah. Tell me, please. I need to know.
I need to
Yeah,
remember.
there's so much more moments.
A lot of that happens in theme songs, like anime theme, like openings, where they would just say random.
Yeah, that's the best. The new Dragon Ball one is fucking hilarious. The something about saying that we're in love now. I
We're
was
in
like,
luck
what?
now. I think
How we go from fighting to that?
no, it's luck, not love.
Oh, that's my fault.
Yeah, that's your fault. Come on, man.
Oh,
Oh. Well, were those all your thoughts?
pretty much.
All right. Well, with that being said, that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espel on Twitter and Instagram, Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, and New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. You can also catch him when he's streaming at twitch.tv/its punchline. Email the show itself at New Jump City follow the show at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You can also follow the show, email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll read it on the pre-show chat show that we do every week as well, that we've started doing. It's like a little half-hour chat about whatever's on our minds. Ooh, my voice is going.
Yeah, we're raspy there. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm getting raspy. But yeah, check that out. Email us, or you can comment under the video that you're watching, whether it's the only thing I'm putting out is the full version of the pod, since we're not fully video capable yet, but the podcast still goes up on YouTube. Comment there your thoughts, anything that you guys wanted to mention, or if you and while you're at it, why don't you subscribe, share the podcast, all that stuff. If you prefer audio podcasts, we're pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. So subscribe on all those platforms. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week on New Jump City. Peace out.
Peace out. I'm still smoking that Miami pack, by the way.
Oh yeah.
That's still getting rolled up.
I think the best part of it is that Jokic didn't even care.
Sure.
Jokic is like, I want to go home. I want to go to Serbia. Anyway, bye everybody.
He wants to be amongst his white people. Bye bye.